Today we're going to outline directory server services in Ruckus 1. We're going to get started by going to Network Control, Service Catalog, and then we're going to choose Directory Server and choose Add. You can see that I've flipped over to editing an existing directory server that I already have, but the fields for adding a new server are the exact same. Directory server services are for corporations or enterprises that want to tie in their existing Active Directory or LDAP infrastructure into Wi-Fi login. After specifying the profile name, you're going to select the server type. The options are either Active Directory server or LDAP server. And this is going to depend on what you have in the backend in terms of infrastructure that you're trying to connect to. The next option we have here is to enable or disable TLS encryption, and you can see that we are flipping between port 389 with TLS off and port 636 when we enable TLS encryption. You can also adjust these port numbers if you've changed them in your environment. But this ties into the fully qualified domain name or IP address for the LDAP or AD server that you're trying to connect to. The next few fields that you need to populate, you may need to coordinate with the server administrator on. If you aren't already the AD or LDAP administrator, you need to have the base domain name for the environment that you're trying to connect into, as well as the admin domain name. So we are actually using read-only-admin as the account to actually manage these connections. And then we have the AD password that is tied to that account. We also, for LDAP, have a few additional fields that we filled in here for user ID as the key attribute, as well as an object class filter that is matching all with the asterisk wildcard. Once you've got everything set up here, and again, you may need to work with that server administrator to fill out these details, you can click the test connection button and it should resolve a successful connection. If you're not able to get a successful connection here, you need to rework with that administrator and try to change some of these fields up and make sure the permissions are correct before trying to add this directory server to an actual WLAN. Users will be interfacing with the directory services through a guest portal. So you're seeing here the guest portal that I have established that we're going to tie to this WLAN that we have. And you can see that we've set it up as Active Directory and LDAP. Again, these landing portals and guest portals we've talked about in other videos, but you can see here it's going to be asking for a username and password before it is allowing them to join the Wi-Fi network. I'm just going to quickly walk through the creation of the Wi-Fi network that's going to use this captive portal and those directory services. I've named the network. I've selected captive portal as my network type. And then for the portal type, I'm actually going to choose the Active Directory LDAP server option. And then select that server that we've already created from the drop-down list. The Secure Your Network, I'm going to leave as none. This would provide an additional ability to also set up a pre-shared key to connect to the Wi-Fi network. But with this set to none, they're just going to connect into the Wi-Fi network and then be redirected to our portal. I am going to choose to redirect the users to commscope.com after they've logged in. You can see we can also do DHCP services, use bypass CNA. I don't need any of that right now, but I am going to choose our portal that we just showed as Corp LDAP. And you can see it here. We then need to tie it to our venue and activate it. So I'm going to let this process run. And once it's up on my AP, I'm going to show the process to connect into it. And then we'll look at that user once it's associated. We're now going to connect to our corporate network with a Windows PC. I'm going to click on the Wi-Fi icon. You can see my open CorpNet here. I'm going to connect into this. And you can see that it's done the redirect to that portal that we had established. Now, I do have a few user accounts set up, one of which being Newton. This is set up on that LDAP server. The password for this account is password. I'm going to enter in password 1 as the incorrect thing, and we can see that our authentication has failed. I'm going to take it back to just password and connect in, and we should get the success message, and we should be redirected as we are to commscope.com. With that client now successfully connected to our network, we can find it here under our clients list, and it is this LP-3K client. I'm going to select that, and on the right-hand side, you can see right away that we have logged in with Newton as the username, and scrolling down under the connection, we get a little more information about how it connected. The network type of captive portal, and it is showing as hotspot Whisper plus Mac with a status of authorized. So you can get a little bit more information from that user once it is connected in, but that is exactly how you would set up a Active Directory or LDAP service.